Hello everybody and welcome to today's WORC TV event. My name is Brayson Collins and currently I am here by myself. Hopefully we will have a co-commentator hopping in here soon. We will have some interesting test features going on later tonight. But anyways, without further ado, welcome everybody to the Misfitz Racing League here at Chicagoland, as these guys are looking to go 120 laps tonight to decide who the final 6 drivers will be heading into their championship race next week. We are unsure if that event will be on WORC TV or not. We'll keep you guys posted. Well, I'm sure the league will keep you guys posted on that information. Otherwise, let's get into the starting lineup for tonight as qualifying is concluded, and we're just going to hop right into this thing. Starting from the pole for tonight will be Jesse Singleton in the 51, putting down a 30.780. To his outside will be the 47 of Zachary Stevens. And then in row 2 inside we have Sharon Slate in the 18. To her outside we have Matt Mingo in the 12. 3 of those top 4 playoff drivers. Zachary Stevens last week was going for gold. Went for the send, went for the Chastain move in 3 and 4. Didn't quite make it stick. He's looking for some redemption tonight. We'll see if he gets it done. Back through the starting lineup here in P5, we have Michael Edwards. He looked really fast last week at Martinsville. Qualifies .053 off of pole tonight. We'll see if he can turn his luck around, have a little bit better second half, and put something together in this race. Grant Turner starts 6th. Philip Willis starts 7th. David Bachman rounds out the top 8. 9th through 17th, we have Trevor Keith, or excuse me, it should be 16th. I don't know why it says 17th. 9th, Trevor Keith in the 48. 10th, Patrick Jenks in the 38. 11th, TJ Lair in the 85. 12th, Daniel Pinkston in the 22. 13th, we have Noah Henkel in the 91. 14th, we have Kelly Hyatt in the 26. And in the final row, we have Josh Patterson, who put down a staggering 3-minute lap time, averaging 30 miles an hour. And it looks like Chase Grayer did not qualify, and for some reason it has him scored 17th. So perhaps we have 17 drivers registered in the field. It doesn't seem like it shows any other drivers back there. So we'll get right into this thing. We're starting on a little bit of a delay. We had a little bit of an issue trying to find our colleagues here up in the WORC TV booth. But for now, for tonight, it will be me, and we'll have a special guest later. So this should be interesting. Track info here at the Chicagoland Speedway, located in Joliet, Illinois. Track length of 1.5 miles, which it rounded up to 2 miles there in the track information graphic. Obviously, it's an oval, so it's got 4 turns, and we're sitting at an altitude of 662 feet. Race info for tonight, we're going to go 120 laps, a total of 183 miles, and the average lap time here is about 31 seconds here in these trucks. And give me just a moment here, folks. I'm going to have to pull something up real quick. My apologies for that. As you see, some of those paint schemes were a little basic. Unfortunately, it didn't appear that the schemes loaded in, so hopefully they'll get loaded up. And anyways, back into the to the race info here. Weather for tonight. It's a night race here. I mean, obviously, you got the stadium lights on. You can tell it's nighttime here. 75-degree temperatures, 75-degree track temps, 2-mile-an-hour wind speeds, mostly cloudy skies. Just past 5 p.m. Eastern time here. 1% humidity. And man, I'm excited to see what happens here. This will decide the final 6 here in the Misfitz Racing League as the pace truck pulls off. Green flag is out. Jesse Singleton leads us to the green flag here at Chicagoland Speedway. So we're green flag already, and it looks like we did have 17 entrants. A surprise driver has made it 3 wide up the middle from the back. That is the 34 of Henry Clappert. That was a little bit of a surprise. Didn't quite see him there. Wow. Okay. He has appeared out of nowhere. So it turns out we did have 17 drivers, and it looks like Chase Greer did end up making the grid. So 17 drivers for tonight's event, but back up front, looks like Sharon Slate's a little loose. Contact there, 4 wide down the front straightaway. Philip Willis scattering himself down under the apron there. Everything looks okay, though, as, man, tough luck for Philip Willis. Looks like he's going to lose quite a few positions here. As Jesse Singleton, back up front, seems like he's pulling away from Michael Edwards. He's got about half a second gap as Edwards and Stevens go at it. Stevens in a new scheme this week, it looks like. Black, red, and blue. Looks almost like a snakeskin pattern there on that 47. Interesting number font, I'll tell you that one. As both these guys, like I said, they were fast last week. Stevens went for the Chastain move for the win and couldn't quite get it done. And Edwards led quite a bit of laps last week. Don't quite remember exactly how many he led, but led a significant chunk of that Martinsville race. And now these two side by side back here. Jesse Singleton was suspended last week. Had to start last place, finish last place, due to a penalty for intentional wrecking, I believe. So yeah. Looks like he's back. Looks like he's fast. And completion of lap 3 here on to lap 4. Looks like Michael Edwards and Zachary Stevens looking to make a charge for the lead. Edwards goes to the inside. Looks like he will go side by side through 1 and 2. Looks like Jesse Singleton might just back down. He'll get back in line behind Edwards. He'll get to second in line. We'll see if Zachary Stevens tries to make a run at Singleton, or if Singleton tries to make a run back at Michael Edwards. As Singleton back in line. Looks like he'll take the top on entry. Edwards dove it down to the white line pretty early there. And, man, this is a tight pack right here. Matt Mingo gaining some ground. And early on, Jesse Singleton, Michael Edwards side by side right here. And it looks like Singleton's going to lose some ground running to the top. Zachary Stevens goes to the inside for second. Side by side here down the back straightaway. Matt Mingo, Trevor Keith trying to throw their hats in the ring. Trevor Keith did not have a good run at Martinsville. Looks very strong here right now. And I have not mentioned the playoff drivers quite yet. I will get to that soon at some point, so hopefully everybody gets a chance to know who's racing for what and who's racing for when and who's racing for how and all that stuff. But for now, it's Michael Edwards and Zachary Stevens, two non-playoff drivers, battling at the front first and second here. Jesse Singleton not going away, though, and Singleton definitely looking to transfer here. I mean, when you're suspended, you really have to put together a fight to make the next round. And so we're going to see what Jesse Singleton can do. Entering this race, he was 8 points back on the top 6, and that was to Patrick Jenks. I'm not 100% sure if pole is a bonus point or not. Anyways, back here, looks like Zachary Stevens may have gone a little tight. A little bit of a side draft there from Trevor Keith in the 48. As Keith looks to move up into third, and Stevens might be trained here as Matt Mingo is going to the outside, and it looks like TJ Lair as well, peeking to the outside there. But for now, Michael Edwards still continuing to pace the field here at Chicagoland Speedway. Lap 7 of 120. As Singleton now dives to the outside. Looks like he's going to peek back into line here. And these guys really going at it early on here. A lot of shuffling for positions as it looks like Zachary Stevens, yeah, he's going to fall all the way back to 6th place, it looks like. Depending on if TJ Lair can clear him or not. They're going to go side by side here off of 4. It looks like they're side by side in front of them as well. That was Mingo and Keith. Unfortunately, it didn't look like anything was going on there. So back up here, we have Singleton. We have Edwards. Singleton got to the right rear quarter of the 14 of Edwards, but couldn't make anything happen there. As back through the field, looking at the cutoff spot, that was Patrick Jenks sitting on the cutoff spot here in the playoffs. He was 6th in points, 8 above Jesse Singleton, and Patrick Jenks looks like he's under fire from Henry Clappert in the 34. Clappert making his first start of the season, as we mentioned earlier. We weren't sure where the extra driver came from, and then suddenly he just appeared here on the track. If you recall last week, if you were watching, Clapper and Patterson were both up in the booth. Josh Patterson as well, racing in tonight's event. As single foul out up here for now. 10 laps down in this one, 12th of the way through once they get to the line. And it looks like Singleton trying to get to the outside of Edwards. Maybe he might try to take a charge here for the lead. As leading laps, obviously, best position you want to be in. And I'm honestly amazed at how tight the racing is right now. As Edwards will clear up on Singleton. Singleton looks like he might peek to the inside. No, he's going to stay in line for now. He'll lift off the gas pedal a little bit. He might want to be careful, though, about what kind of a move he makes, because Trevor Keith and Matt Mingo are right there. And Trevor Keith, he's currently 2nd in points right now. He was actually tied for the points lead. So 2nd on a theoretical basis here with Matt Mingo. He was the guy right behind him in points in P3. So both of those guys obviously looking to have good days as well, solidify themselves as championship competitors in next week's finale here in the Misfitz Racing League. And Zachary Stevens looks like he got back by TJ Lair. So he will round out the top 5 right now, as it's pretty much a close top 6, and you can't really find a battle elsewhere on the track. Let's see here. Oh, never mind, I lied. There's a battle. Sharon Slate, Josh Patterson, Noah Hinkle. As Patterson goes to the top. Oh, Grant Turner, slow on the apron. Looks like he may have gone down pit road in that 7 truck. Not sure what happened there, but up here we have side-by-side battle between Patterson and Sharon Slate. Slate is currently last in the playoff standings in that 18. She looked really good last week at Martinsville, but unfortunately didn't quite get the finish that she was looking for, and now she gets passed by Josh Patterson. And when you're putting up a playoff fight, you know, you just got to remember when you're in a situation like this that it's early in the race and there's a lot of race left for you to get back at it and try to get them points back. As up front, Jesse Singleton has lost quite a bit of ground. It's Michael Edwards, but then back there, Trevor Keith has lost a bit of ground. Here comes Zachary Stevens. Zachary Stevens in the 47, Trevor Keith in the 48. Stevens looking a little to the inside of Keith. Looks like Keith is going to get a better exit off the corner. We'll see what kind of a move Stevens makes. Stevens goes to the top side here of Trevor Keith. We'll try to cross back down. And looks like he'll stay hanging around 4th for now. I think Stevens knows that he's fast. He knows he's got time left. He's going to actually get a huge run to the outside. Trevor Keith is going to bow way down the back straightaway there towards the white line. Give Stevens... personally, I think he gave Stevens a little too much room. He might let Stevens get by him there, as Keith is actually going to grab the apron. Stevens with a great run off of turn 4 there. And Zachary Stevens back up to P3. He lost some ground early on, but he looks quick now. As Trevor Keith looks like he's struggling here. He's going to get passed by Matt Mingo in the 12, and now he's under fire from TJ Lair. As we'll see what kind of a run Lair gets off of turn 2 here. Yeah, Lair with a huge run in that 85. Both of these guys playoff competitors as well. Lair was sitting outside of the cut. He was tied with Jesse Singleton, 8 points back on Patrick Jenks. So Lair also having a good run, and a guy that I just noticed is not here, and this is huge for playoff purposes, is Anthony Emmerich. Anthony Emmerich in the 23 was at 5th in points. He is the only playoff driver who's not here tonight. So interesting to see this one play out. Patrick Jenks might not be in as bad of a spot as he thinks he is, but right now TJ Lair, he loses 2 spots to Philip Willis and Josh Patterson. As we saw Willis go for a bit of a spin early on, he ends up climbing his way back up towards the top 5, but here comes Josh Patterson. Patterson started 15th, I believe it was, as we saw that miracle of a lap he had. I believe it was 3 minutes in qualifying. Not exactly sure how he managed to achieve that, but we have a pack here battling for 4th place. Patterson, Willis, Keith, Mingo. 2x2 back here. Patterson, aggressive move up to the outside wall. And looks like everybody's going to try to get by Trevor Keith, as, I don't know, maybe he burned his tires off early. They're 3 wide here off of 4. Patterson in the middle, Willis on the top, Keith on the bottom. And Trevor Keith, man, he is struggling. Was up to 3rd there at one point. He has now fallen all the way back to 6th place. And TJ Lair's lost some spots as well. As back here, trying to find Patrick Jenks. There's Jenks. He's lost a couple spots. He's back to 11th. Kelly Hyatt, a playoff guy. He is up to 10th and that 26th. And then it looks like we have a little bit of a battle here. Grant Turner, a lap truck in the 7. Looks like Daniel Pinkston, Henry Clappert. As Clappert is riding the rim here. Pinkston running a couple lanes lower off the wall. Looks like Clappert's going to get the run off. Up front, looks like Zachary Stevens has come down pit road. And it looks like a couple other drivers have as well. It looks like Philip Willis has come down. That might be it. Oh, Sharon Slate coming off of pit road. So it looks like we have early pit stops here. Not 100% sure what the fuel strategy is. And actually, no, I'm actually reading here. No, yeah, no. Okay, I'm a little confused as to what the pit strategy is here. I'm used to a little bit longer fuel runs. So I'm not sure if maybe the fuel run, perhaps these guys can make it 70 or excuse me, like 100 laps on fuel. And so maybe this is them trying to short pit it. I don't know what's happening, but right now Michael Edwards leads. Josh Patterson about 2.5 seconds back. Trevor Keith looks like he's still in a bit of a battle here. But that is Jesse Singleton getting his lap back, as it looks like Keith will come down to pit. So Singleton came down pit road as well in that 51. So yeah, early pit stops here. Michael Edwards has come down pit road. And so we have a new leader, Josh Patterson, in the 935. And it looks like Henry Clappert has stayed out as well in the 38. And interesting to see these guys. We just saw Patterson. He was running the bottom there through 1 and 2. Clappert up against the outside wall. So differing strategies between these guys as they are saving tires or fuel or whatever it is that they're saving right now. But yeah, not really sure what's going on here as everyone else has pit behind Daniel Pinkston in 3rd place, I believe. Or excuse me, TJ Lair and Kelly Hyatt have not pit. Neither is Patrick Jenks, neither is Chase Greer. So yeah, Matt Mingo comes down. He's got heavy right side damage. Not sure if something happened when he was coming down to pit road or what. But seems like he had some contact with the wall at some point in this race. There's David Bachman. I haven't really talked about him much. Back up front, it's all Josh Patterson here as we cycle through the first bit of pit stops, and Patterson is going to keep out there. Looks like Henry Clappert, Daniel Pinkston will stay out as well. Yeah, so that top 3 staying out. Kelly Hyatt and TJ Lair staying out. Those are 2 guys to watch for, as well as Patrick Jenks. He's also staying out, so I'll try to keep an update on when those guys hit pit road, as those are all playoff drivers. But yeah, Josh Patterson, he is on his own island right now, 1.7 ahead of Clappert, and Clappert's actually closing some ground. As you see there, Patterson down on the white line. I was seeing if he was going to come pit. He decides not to. Henry Clappert, however, he goes down to the white line. He will pit in that 34. So we'll see behind here, Kelly Hyatt, TJ Laird, they both stayed out. Patrick Jenks looks a little slow. I believe he... No? I'm not sure. I don't think he's pit yet. So it looks like Henry Clappert's the only one who comes down to pit there. We're going to keep watching your leader, Josh Patterson, in the 935. Beautiful truck there made by Dynamo Designs. And typically when you think of beautiful trucks, you think of really colorful ones. Well, that one's a really good looking one. And that one's just gray and white. And Josh Patterson spins it down into pit road. Oh my goodness. What a mistake from the 935. He spins down on pit road, and Daniel Pinkston, he will now take the lead here. Oh, man. And I think, you know, we had a situation there. We're going to go, we're going to see if we can get a chat real quick under Green Flag Pit Stops with Josh Patterson, see if we can get him to talk about that spin there. Josh, oh, never mind. We're going to not do that right now as there is a caution on the racetrack somewhere. It looks like it may have been Henry Clappert. Excuse me for forgetting to pull up the replay graphic there. My apologies. It's saying that Henry Clappert may have crashed. Clappert or Pinkston? One of the two may have crashed here. Trying to figure that out. Yeah, not really sure what the caution is for. No, if it wasn't Clappert, was it Pinkston? I'm not I'm not seeing where the caution may have come out there, and what for. I believe that's a stage caution. I believe that is the stage caution. I was not told what the stages were, so if I can't figure out what caused the wreck, I'm going to say it was the stage caution. So I think Daniel Pinkston won the stage, and that would explain the pit strategy. I apologize, folks. I was not told what the stages were for today. I'm going to double check and make sure I can find some information there. I apologize for that one, folks. Broadcaster. Yeah, okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that was the stage, 25. So my apologies for that. That's a broadcaster screw up there. Usually it helps when your co-commentators show up, but, you know, things happen. So, looks like some of those guys who came down to pit late in that stage, and obviously that explains all the stage fuel runs and stuff. So that's Josh Patterson. He's the leader now. And it looks like Daniel Pinkston is a lap down on pit road. Looks like Noah Henkel is 2 laps down in the 91. So yeah, not entirely sure what the deal is there, but it looks like Henry Clappert somehow got stuck behind the pace truck. So yeah, not really sure what's going on here with Clappert. It looks like he's letting TJ Lair by. He may have gotten stuck behind the pace truck. Yeah, it looks like he's got to let some guys by. Looks like TJ Lair and David Bachman passing people. So maybe it looks like there's a little bit of confusion or caution, so guys have to shuffle for some spots here. So, yeah, I mean, already a stage through this race. It appears the next stage is going to be on lap 55. So, you know, the stage points are very important for the playoff drivers. And speaking of the playoff drivers, I'm thinking it's time to go take a look at some of these playoff drivers, go see what they're racing for. As so Grant Turner, he came into this as the points leader, tied for the points lead actually in the 7. And there we go. We're gonna find Grant Turner right there. He went a lap down there on that run. He pit really early in the stage. He's back on the lead lap though. Trevor Keith in the 48, we saw him. He kind of struggled there towards the end of the run. Trying to find that 48 on track here. Not really sure. There we go. He was in 9th place right there in that 48. So he was the one who was second in points, technically tied for the points lead. So he's had himself. He's been around the top 5 most of this run. So should be a good showing for him. Matt Mingo, we saw he had some contact with the outside wall. Looks like the team got that repaired down on pit road for the 12. He's currently sitting 12th, but he's on the lead lap. Philip Willis, we saw he had an early, it wasn't a spin. I believe I called it a spin, but it wasn't really necessarily a spin. And he is right here, P3. So, obviously he's looking good as these guys double it up here. And then Patrick Jenks, he was the last guy in. We'll just go back to him real quick. He's lining up in 11th here. Looks like he's coming off of pit road. TJ Lair, though, he's your leader, and pace lights are out. We're going green this time, and Mr. Lair was 8th in points, 8 points back on Patrick Jenks. Of course, Anthony Emmerich did not show up today. He was currently in the playoffs, sitting 5th in points. So if TJ Lair can gain, I believe he's 9 points back on Emmerich, which I believe he gains 9 points just for starting this thing. So TJ Lair, him and Jesse Singleton, they could be battling for the final playoff spot here. Kelly Hayek, Sharon Slade, of course, all in it as well. But it looks like everybody else came down to pit road there. Top off on fuel perhaps for the next stage. So only 4 cars doubled up there as TJ Lair brought us back to the green. Philip Willis looks like he's going to move into 2nd. And that 4 truck looks fast. I might be worried if I was some of these guys, the way he climbed back through the field there towards the end of that last stage. Michael Edwards, he is in 3rd. He's going to dive down to the inside of Philip Willis. We'll see if the inside is good. Here for Michael Edwards. Obviously, towards the end of that run there, a lot of the passing we saw was on the top side. But when you have fresh tires at the bottom is definitely the way to go, as TJ Lair is going to box in Philip Willis with the help of Michael Edwards, as Lair is going to lead a lap here, and he knows he's fighting for the playoffs. He knows that he needs to lead laps. He needs to keep that 85 out up front, and what better way to do it than fighting for the lead? But he's going to be side by side with Edwards, and 3 wide off of exit of 2 with Willis. Willis is going to lift out of the gas. Willis is going to dive all the way down to the white line now. Back in line with Michael Edwards. It looks like Willis is going to go way down there, trying to get to the inside of Edwards, but he won't get there. It looks like a little bit of smoke. Not sure what from, but the battle for the lead is really good right now between these 3 trucks. Michael Edwards, Philip Willis, TJ Lair. Here comes Trevor Keith way down from the apron, clears himself in front of Sharon Slate, and Slate is a lap down. Slate is the first truck a lap down. Henry Clappert also a lap down. These 2 are fighting for potentially the lucky dog, depending on a caution, of course. So these 2, of course, conveniently black and green trucks, now they have to battle it out for that lucky dog spot. That was a move by Trevor Keith for sure to clear him up there. And he's going to try to run down this top 3 now as Lair and Willis side by side here. And Lair almost goes door to door with Willis there, entering the corner. And Willis, he's just trying to keep himself in the playoffs, in the final 6, heading into next week's finale. He's sitting 4th in that spot right now. While we're under green here, this would be a great time to remind you guys of our sponsor, Speedmaster. If you're interested in any award-winning remote control boats, contact them at speedmaster@gmail.com today. And they're a good sponsor, Misfitz Racing League. Thanks to them for sponsoring this. As the battle still wages on here, TJ Lair, Philip Willis, Trevor Keith. All of these guys, bumper to bumper to bumper here. All 3 playoff drivers all being... Oh, Henry Clapper gets by Sharon Slate. And almost hits the back bumper of Trevor Keith. Sorry, he kind of threw me off there, as he's actually trying to pass Trevor Keith. And that, if I'm a playoff guy like one of these 3, I'm definitely not wanting the 34 as a lap car. And not only is he a lap truck, but he's not a playoff guy. This is his first start of the season. Definitely don't want him. Oh, Michael Edwards. He loses a lot of ground. He's going to be 3 wide in the middle off of 2 with Lair and Keith as Willis takes the lead. And these 2 lap trucks, not sure where to go. Both of them look fast, and both of them looking to race their laps back. Not sure what happened to Edwards. It looks like he just got loose off of 2 there. Lost a lot of ground, got kind of put in a sucker hole in the middle. And normally I'm not a fan of broadcasts that just watch the front of the field, but this is absolutely entertaining right now, as we have playoff drivers 1, 2, 3 with Philip Willis, TJ Lair, and Trevor Keith. And man, I'm excited to see how this thing shakes up. Obviously, with the stages, these guys are racing for stage points. And, wow. So, these 3 are going to pull away, it looks like, as Lair's all over the back bumper of Willis. And Lair's going to make the move to the inside. He's going to go side by side with Willis. I think Willis is going to get the run off, though. Just being in that middle lane alone really helps you on exit. But Lair will be able to get back in line in second here. Keith all over the back bumper of Lair. He's going to peek to the inside, entering the corner. And it looks like he goes down to the white line. But Lair, he just saw how that move worked out. And Willis, he's going to wash up a little tight there off of 4. He's going to carry that momentum down to the apron, though. And he will lead lap 38. Back through the field, there's 5th place. Quite a ways back from the leaders. That's Josh Patterson. Patrick Jenks has moved himself up into 6th place. Quietly having a good night there in that Keystone Corner, Keystone Gaming 38 machine. Grant Turner, he was a lap down early in this thing. He's up to 7th. Kelly Hyatt up to 8th. The last 3 guys I've named are playoff drivers. And the next 2 I'm going to name are playoff drivers. Matt Mingo in 9th and Jesse Singleton in 10th. These guys way far back on the field. And Zachary Stevens back here in 12th. Chase Greer in 11th, right in front of him in that Skittles truck. So these guys, looks like they're really hoping on a caution. And they're not the only ones hoping on a caution, because there's a lap trucks up there, and Henry Clapper and Sharon Slate, they're also hoping for a caution. And it looks like Sharon Slate has lost some pace to Clapper. So, obviously, you know, especially if you're Slate, you're a playoff driver, you really want to get your lap back. You want to have a chance to get your lap back. The racing seems to have kind of tamed out a little bit up towards the front here. 41 laps into this thing. Definitely a clean race so far, though. We've not had a caution that was due to incident on track. So, I mean, when you consider that, and you consider how good the racing's been so far, the fact that this is truly the first time that we're kind of sorting people out. And even then, back here, Michael Edwards, he lost a lot of ground there, but it looks like he's gaining all that time back. As there's another lap truck right there. That is Noah Henkel. And 2 lap trucks separate Michael Edwards from Josh Patterson in the 935. So, we'll see what happens there. See if Patterson can catch Edwards. And ultimately, if Edwards can catch those guys, he's reeled in Henry Clapper and Trevor Keith, it looks like, as those guys were fairly close together. Edwards running the bottom lane here. And we'll see if Edwards is able to run him down, make something of this battle up front here. Well, obviously that lap truck looks like he's in the way right now. That's the 34 of Henry Clapper, but back through the field, Jenks is kind of on his own territory there. Looks like we have a couple close guys between Grant Turner and Kelly Hyatt right here. Both these guys playoff drivers. Hyatt was 15 out entering this race, so unfortunately I don't think he's had the race that he's been looking for, but ultimately we'll figure out who the final 6 are, and hopefully that can be calculated quickly after the race. Hopefully we can get that announced on the broadcast for league owner Patrick Jenks and the rest of the admin crew. But for now, up front, Philip Willis is leading, and TJ Lair has lost a lot of ground. Looks like the tires may have worn in there for Lair. He loses 3 positions here the past lap and a half, and he looks really slow there. You can almost hear the tires chattering. It looks like he may be planning for a pit stop. No, he's just really, really slow there. Not sure what happened to Lair, but he's losing tons of ground quickly. So back up front here, Patterson moves to 4th. Edwards moves to 3rd, and Edwards is reeling in Trevor Keith here. And this is your battle for 2nd on the racetrack. As Edwards looks to the inside of Keith, and Edwards, he's really rolling the bottom in very well here as late as it is into the run. Not that it's very late in the run as is, but I feel like I noted earlier that the top line seemed to be where most of the passing opportunities were once you got to the end of that stage. And certainly enough, Michael Edwards has just passed Trevor Keith on the bottom. And I think whatever happened to Edwards off of 2, he's shaking it off. He's gotten himself into a rhythm, and he's looking to run down race leader Philip Willis right now, as Willis in that number 4 Publix Toyota Tundra just keeps turning the laps in. And as I've mentioned before, I'm not 100% sure what the bonus point situation looks like for the Misfitz Racing League, but what I do know is that you're better off leading laps than running last. So as a playoff guy, Philip Willis just trying to get it done here tonight. But Michael Edwards, a non-playoff guy, looking to play some playoff spoiler as he pulls away from Trevor Keith. And it looks like Trevor Keith now is in danger of being reeled in by Josh Patterson in the 935. As Patterson had that spin on pit road at the end of the stage. May have worn the tires in a little bit there, taking a spin down there, but he looks like he's doing pretty good. He started a little further back in the field there on that last restart. He now gets to Trevor Keith. And if you're Trevor Keith, he's kind of had a similar thing happen both stages. With about 10 laps left in each stage, he kind of just starts to fade away in terms of pace. And last time he was in a little bit of a worse position as he lost tons of ground. I believe he fell all the way back to 7th it was at the end of that last stage. Now he's only falling back to 4th, but he might want to be careful, fortunately for him. Oh, wait, actually, hang on. Sorry, Josh Patterson got the wall there on entry. Looks like he's okay. Anyways, as I was going to highlight TJ Lair right here. TJ Lair, he's 6 seconds back now. Not sure what happened. We saw him running in the top 3, and he just suddenly lost a ton of pace, and he's just lost everything that he had at one point. Patrick Jenks, meanwhile, back here, looks like he, running 6th, has been caught by Grant Turner in the 7. And we'll see if Turner can get anything done. As it looks like Trevor Keith, I mentioned the pace falling off for that 48. He's decided to try to take some advantage of the track position he has. And he's going to come down pit road. Doesn't look like anybody else has come down pit road. So it looks like Trevor Keith will be the first one to do it. And back up front, Michael Edwards has caught Philip Willis, and Willis comes down pit road, and it looked like Edwards wasn't 100% sure that Willis was coming down to pit. Willis a little loose entering pit road. Looks like he got it down under pit road speed, and he'll be good there. Try to see if anybody else comes down to pit. As not seeing anybody else yet. Going through the field, there's Hyatt, Greer, Singleton. Yeah, so these guys don't want to pit yet. And if you're a guy like Henry Clappert, David Bachman, who's now a lap down, Noah Henkel, Sharon Slate, who are each 2 laps down, I'd probably try to stay out if I can. As Michael Edwards comes down pit road, he led a couple laps there, but he'll dart down there. And Josh Patterson gets back to the lead with some significant right front damage from that wall contact we saw a few laps ago. And don't look now, but in terms of stage points, Patrick Jenks is 3rd. We mentioned that the guys who were below the cut entering this race, they were 8 points back on Patrick Jenks. And of course, with Anthony Emmerich not here, Jenks is still in a position where he's got a little bit of an easier route to make the final 6, but he certainly doesn't want to try to give up points. He's sitting 3rd right now. If he gets some stage points in this stage, I think he's putting himself in a great position as Josh Patterson ducks down pit road. And, man, you can see that right side damage really good there from that shot on pit road. Just that contact on entry of 1 really screwed him up. As TJ Lair, he ends up taking over the lead here. And if I'm him, and I can make it on fuel, which perhaps maybe that's why he slowed down. Maybe he was saving some fuel, making sure he can make it to the end of the stage. I'm taking my stage points here if I can. So we'll see the 85. I believe there's 2 to go in the stage this time by. And he's just got to limp it around. Patrick Jenks looks like he's staying out. He's going to get passed by Grant Turner, but Jenks looks really slow. Not sure if he's saving fuel as well. Grant Turner up to second. I mean, Kelly Hyatt, he's 4th. He's staying it out as well. Jesse Singleton. All these guys needing these stage points. The only issue is if you're a playoff driver getting stage points right now, you have to make sure that you're getting more than the other playoff drivers. And that's something that TJ Lair, Grant Turner, Patrick Jenks may be able to take advantage of. But if you're somebody like Kelly Hyatt, you're not really liking that Jesse Singleton is only 1 spot behind you when he's a guy who's above you and also below the cut. And then Matt Mingo's getting stage points as well. Trevor Keith back in the stage points. He's put himself in 10th back there in that 48. But Philip Willis, maybe not. Philip Willis may be able to get him for stage points here. Trevor Keith may lose some stage points. So that's a playoff driver who's losing out on those. Sharon Slate, I don't think has gotten stage points in either stage today. So I think Sharon Slate might be out of the look here for that final 6. And I mean that's unfortunate. I mean, I wouldn't say it's over necessarily. You know, Sharon Slate could win, and the non-playoff guys could kind of fill out the positions between. But I'm honestly not sure if there's enough. As TJ Lair, he's going very slow here down the back straightaway. There's Grant Turner. I believe the stage is over. They just haven't thrown the caution yet. They're waiting for 10th to cross, and there it is. So TJ Lair, he will win stage number 2 here, and that is huge for the playoff race. Absolutely huge. Turner getting 2nd, Jenks getting 3rd. It looks like Jenks ran himself almost out of fuel. He's going to have to come down a lap early and come take fuel now, which I believe will cycle him to the tail end of the field, if I recall the iRacing penalty system correctly. So that is huge for the 38 of Jenks. Being able to get those stage points, being able to save enough fuel for those. Lair and Turner, I believe, are both saving fuel. That's why they're on the apron here, I'm assuming. Man. So, as I tried to do earlier, I tried to get an in-car interview with the 935 of Josh Patterson, and unfortunately we got interrupted by the stage caution coming out. So, under this stage caution, we're going to ring him up here in the 935. We're going to try to get Josh Patterson here. Josh, you have a copy?
I got you, buddy.
Well, Josh, it's been a race for you up and down through the field, and the main reason we're talking to you today, you're a non-playoff driver, so you have a whole different outlook for this race. You're here to win. I mean, you're not here to just run some laps, have some fun. I mean, I guess winning is pretty fun, but you're here to just kind of get some laps in, try to go win this race. But you have some heavy right side damage. Run me through the contact with the wall. We noticed it here on broadcast when you got that damage, and then just run me through what happened there and how you've been able to try to recover from that, and how you think the this third of the race, I guess. I don't know. It's not exactly a third, but run me through how the end of this race is going to go for you.
I'm like the gaming shift, how much you're talking. I don't know. I was looking in my mirror, to be honest. I wasn't entirely paying attention to what was in front of me, so just got into the wall pretty hard. Truck's fine, though, so should be able to continue and have good pace. I feel like I have a pretty good pace all night. I don't know. The truck seems real fast. I think something that neither of us knew going into this, I'm pretty sure these trucks got a penalty, or not a penalty, a power limit on them, because this is a completely full throttle track. So the leaders up front, they've been running full throttle, and that's why everything's been so close up there. So yeah, trucks have been handling good, though. I feel like I've been able to capitalize on people not running the greatest lines, and I think I've been able to, gain some ground on guys. I know there was one of them green flag runs. I was like 4 seconds back. By the end of it, I was down to like 2. So, we've got the pace to do something well. Just gotta, now that I finally got through a pit cycle without messing anything up, yeah, should be okay to go to the finish.
All right, Josh. Well, we might check in with you later today, but for now, you've got the last half of this race to go, and we're excited to see what you do, man.
All right, thanks a lot, Bryson.
As Josh Patterson, we're glad we could bring him in for an interview, and we're glad he was able to participate in the in-car interview process with us. And so, yeah, that is something he noted that obviously I couldn't even notice that this track is full throttle and that there might be a power penalty. Of course, on iRacing, you are able to limit the power that these trucks will. I mean, any car on the iRacing service, you're able to limit the power that they produce. And so there's a chance maybe the league owners here at the Misfitz Racing League did that. I wasn't told of that, so see what happens. But Philip Willis took the lead. Looks like Henry Clapper is here to get the wave around. So he will be the last truck on track with at least 15 trucks on the lead lap, as Sharon Slate has gotten 2 laps back somehow. What a miracle for that 18 team. So Sharon Slate looking to make a last effort run, trying to close the gap here and make the playoffs, make the next round. Oh, Philip Willis is going to come down perhaps for some extra fuel. So it seemed to me like TJ Lair, Grant Turner, Patrick Jenks, those guys had to save fuel for that stage. So I'm assuming at most you can try to make this a 1-stop to the end, cut it in half. There's a chance it's a 2-stopper. I guess we'll figure it out here as the race goes towards the end. And TJ Lair, your stage 2 winner, he's lining up here P1 for the last half of this race. And let's go for a mid-race update. We've only had 2 cautions. It's been both stages. 61 laps to go. 3 laps under caution, 13 lead changes. And Jesse Singleton, we saw him very quick early at the beginning of this one. He is back up to 2nd. Zachary Stevens, he looked quick earlier. He's up to 4th. Chase Greer, we've seen him kind of towards the back, lining up in 3rd. Looks like David Bachman, he's up here lining up in 7th. So some guys who we haven't really seen. This might be their chance to capitalize here. And some guys that we saw early on that kind of weren't there in the second stage, this is their chance to get back up there. And, of course, if you're TJ Lair, you're wanting to hold this position and try to take the win, as you see him getting a little jumpy there. And we'll see here on the start. Looks like Lair waits for the green flag to fly, and it kind of throws off Jesse Singleton, as you can go on the leader on restarts in this situation. So good start by TJ Lair there. And Chase Greer looks like he gonna run a little high there, lose some ground to Jesse Singleton. And Zachary Stevens, Michael Edwards, Josh Patterson, just a few of the names up here in this gaggle of cars, 4th on back. As Patterson goes to the outside of Stevens, as Edwards goes to the inside, they're going to be 3 wide off of 4. They're going to wash up too. Looks like Edwards didn't quite hook the bottom very well. And they're still 3 wide right here. Is anybody going to give? It doesn't look like anybody's giving. They're still there. Stevens looks like he's finally going to lift out of it. He's not wanting any of this right now. I think it's too early in the race maybe. Who knows though, because he could be put 3 wide again. No. Looks like Bachman lifts and Patterson clears. So Stevens able to bail out of a 3 wide situation there, unfortunately for him. That cost him a couple spots, but better to be safe than sorry if you're that 47. So, don't necessarily think it was a dumb move to lift off there. I think it was a smart decision there. Try to keep that truck clean for the end of this race. TJ Lair continues to lead here at Chicago. Everything boiling down to just what the end is going to look like here. As Michael Edwards, Chase Greer going at it side by side here. Josh Patterson as well. Zachary Stevens still there. And David Bachman. That's 5 guys who are not in the playoffs, all kind of in a group right there, all going for the win here maybe. I mean, who knows? Big wreck could happen. Something could shake up this field. But for now, Michael Edwards is going to clear himself up on Chase Greer. Looks like Greer's going to be under attack from the 3 trucks behind him here in a moment. But for now, Michael Edwards is the guy we're focusing on as he goes to the inside of Singleton. TJ Lair trying to block both lanes here. He's trying to maintain the lead here, hold steady. He actually goes to the top side to block Singleton. Singleton is pushing Lair all the way up to the outside wall, and I'm not sure if I agree with that decision from Lair because it opens the door for Michael Edwards here. as I mentioned, on fresh tires, it seems like the bottom lane is the lane to go with. And, man, TJ Lair washed up. Singleton is now stuck on the outside. Chase Greer might have a chance at a run here. Very, very close racing here, though. Past halfway in this race. Edwards will clear Lair. Lair's going to cross him over, though. Down to the inside of the front straightaway here. Lair trying to get back to the lead. Knowing what's at stake here. A spot in the final 6 heading into Las Vegas next week. And back here for third. Looks like Greer. Not 100% sure to say that name. Hopefully I'm saying it right. But either way, Greer gets to third here. As Edwards crosses back under TJ Lair. And the longer these guys are side by side, the more it's going to stall them out and allow guys like Greer, like Patterson, like Bachman, who's moved into third, like Kelly Hyatt. He's fighting for a chance to make the next round, chance to compete for the championship. He's up to 6th. He's had a quiet day so far, but a good run here. As Edwards and Greer now side by side. TJ Lair was able to clear Edwards, and he started to pull away. Man, this is some close racing right here. Patterson looks like he gets moved out of the lane by David Bachman. Bachman in the 84. He's going to go down there. Try to side draft Patterson a little bit. Kelly Hyatt's there. This is a 6-truck race for the lead right now. And oh, Bachman does not hit the corner very well. That's the second corner in a row he's done that. I'm not sure if he's trying to run that tight on the 935 on purpose, but Kelly Hyatt's going to go 3 wide. Playoffs at stake. The 26 tries to make a move. Looks like the run stalls out, but he's all over the back bumper of the 84. And up front, it looks like the 40 of Greer. He's going to get by Edwards. Bachman way down to the apron, trying to get by Patterson, as Patterson has not quite given up yet. As these two are still side by side. It's tight right there, middle of the corner. And Hyatt's going to... Oh, he's actually going to get a little bit of contact there to the back bumper of the 84 of Bachman. Everyone just so close right now. Jesse Singleton taps the outside wall as we have some racing back here. But, yeah, I just saw Singleton. He caught that wall there. And Zachary Stevens, he's lost a lot of ground. And it looks like he's stuck behind Patrick Jenks right now as everybody's scrambling for position. We've got so much racing going on right now. As these guys back here, Stevens, Singleton, Mingo, Jenks. Oh, Willis at the front of this pack. And Jenks looks like he's plowing really tight here. Wondering if he may have taken tires or just what's going on with that 38. He just looks abnormally tight here right now. Back here in the field. As all this transpiring for 7th, it seems pretty much. As Bachman was finally able to clear Patterson. And he's trying to make a charge towards the front here. As Greer, he's battling for the lead with TJ Lair. He's going to make a move to the inside in that 40. We'll see what happens here. He's going to clear himself up in front of TJ Lair. New leader, the 40, Chase Greer. Chase, however you say your last name. I'm sorry. I keep saying it wrong, I think. He's going to the front, though. He's going to lead his first laps of the day here when he comes across the line here to complete lap 71, going on to 72. As Lair, Edwards, 2nd and 3rd. Looks like a bit of a gap forming now, back to 4th with David Bachman. And man, I mentioned it on that restart. The 40, the 84, they were lined up there kind of out of nowhere. And now the 40's leading. The 84's up to 4th. It's all about how you finish the race, you know? That's the big thing with racing. If you're a playoff guy, it wasn't necessarily about just how you finish the race, but there's a lot more implications added with stage points and stuff. But for a guy like Chase Greer, a guy like David Bachman, a guy like Josh Patterson, it's all about how you finish in this one. And that 40 making the best of it there. As Edwards will get by Lair, and looks like Lair may have burned the tires off there, trying to stay ahead of the field, trying to lead this thing. As back here, looks like Zachary Stevens was able to get up to 7th, and he started to actually pull away from all those guys, so good moves by Stevens back there. Looks like Jesse Singleton, after that wall contact that we saw, losing quite a bit of ground in that 51 truck. As Trevor Keith goes to the inside of Philip Willis. That's going to be for 8th place. Two guys who entered this in a good situation in terms of points. Battling with a guy who wasn't necessarily in the best situation, but trying to make things work to get to the next round, Jesse Singleton. And There's another one really needing a good run. The 18 of Sharon Slate. She goes to the inside of the 91 of Noah Hinkle. As all these guys, like I said, scrambling for position. And I thought I saw a slow truck back there going on a pit road. I did. That's Henry Clappert. Looks like he's going to be the first one to come down pit road. Sorry, I thought I saw somebody else pit. So it looks like he's going to start the pit stops here. He thinks he can make it to the end here from 75, perhaps. As he goes down to his stall. We're going to make sure he actually pits for something here. Yeah, he's taking tires. So there's a strategy call by the 34 team. On lap 75, we're only 15 laps out of the run here. So, man, that's an interesting call. I'm curious to see how it works. Maybe the field run is longer than we thought. Maybe those guys who were running out at the end of stage 2 just didn't take fuel at the end of stage 1. I don't know. They're all going to sort it out here, though, at the end of this one. 76 down. At the line, 76 down. As Michael Edwards tries to reel in Chase Greer. Back here, TJ Lair in a bit of a pickle, trying to hold off David Bachman and Josh Patterson, and a hard-charging Zachary Stevens, who's gained tons of ground here. As it looks like Bachman will go to the inside of Lair. Looks like Stevens is going to check to the outside of Patterson. They're actually going to go 3 wide. Lair goes all the way to the top. And it looks like Kelly Hyatt also losing some ground. So not sure what happened to the 85 and the 26, but they just do not look very good here once some laps get reeled in. But a guy who looks really good here once the laps get ticked down is that 47 of Zachary Stevens. We saw how far back he was just a handful of laps ago. He has absolutely charged his way forward in that snakeskin 47 Toyota Tundra. And as I mentioned last week at Martinsville, he was in second place, in position to have a chance to win the race. He went for the wall ride, couldn't quite make it stick. Now he's looking to try to win here at Chicago as he goes to the inside of Bachman. Up front, Edwards making a charge for the lead on Chase Greer once again. As he looked to the inside there, the 40 holds on tough for now. But the 14 looks like he's going to be able to make something work here perhaps as he has a better corner. It looks like he kind of arcs his corners. The 40 kind of enters in the middle and holds the middle. 14 is all about getting a good arc there, and as you see, it definitely worked out for him. He's going to get to the left rear of the 40. We have a battle for the lead on our hands. As Edwards to the inside of Greer. Looks like he'll actually be able to clear up quite easily here as 40 loses a lot of ground, and the 14 now going to start to pull away, maybe. See what kind of a run the 40 has. He looks like he got a really good run on the front stretch there. 14 clears him up, though. And I think that'll be all she wrote for now in terms of a battle. As we go back through the field here, the battle for third still pretty tight. Bachman, Stevens, and Josh Patterson as these guys dueling it out here. And, yeah, looks like TJ Lair has come down pit road. No, he hasn't come down pit road. Sorry, he's just fallen all the way back to 14th. Absolutely crazy there. As Josh Patterson, he's a guy who comes down pit road. And Grant Turner, never mind, I thought he came down pit road. Looks like he was just losing a spot to Matt Mingo there. So we saw Henry Clappert come down to pit on 75. Patterson the next to pit here on 81. Oh, Zachary Stevens goes to the inside of David Bachman. And we'll see if he clears up here on Bachman. Looks like he does. He will get the run off the corner. He's up to third. The run for him as the 40 comes down pit road now. Looks like Josh Patterson may have started a trend. Kelly Hyatt will follow suit coming down pit road. Sharon Slate. Not yet. Looks like going to get passed by Grant Turner there. As these guys come off of turn 2. And man, there's a battle here. All between playoff drivers. Mingo, Jenks, Keith, Turner, Slate. All right here in this one camera shot. Hit or miss depending on the angle. But Patrick Jenks is going to end that as he's going to pull down pit road in the 38. And Zachary Stevens looks like he came down pit road as well. So 81. Josh Patterson heads down pit road, and we'll see if the short pit strategy plays out for him. Another strategy that we're looking at is the long pit strategy. Here with Michael Edwards in the 14 as he's just going to stay out. He has a 3.5 second gap to David Bachman in the 84. Absolutely incredible. Good run for that 14 truck here. As David Bachman, he's going to come down pit road. So Philip Willis up into second, 6 seconds back now. So Michael Edwards, I mean, if he wants to maybe save some fuel, if he needs to save fuel, or even if he wants to back it down and save some tire here, he has definitely some room to do so. But we'll see here. Nope, he's going to come down and pit. So huge gap for him, 6 seconds to Philip Willis, and we'll see if staying out longer helps him out. I'm going to go back and check on Henry Clapper and Josh Patterson. These two are the first two to come down pit road. Clapper came down a whole 6 laps before Patterson did, and Patterson just got by him. But I'd watch these two, see how their strategy works out, as they're fairly close together right now, and we'll see if Clapper burned the tires off or what may have happened. Trevor Keith, however, in that 48, as we're looking here, he is your current leader as it stands, with Grant Turner right behind him. He's in second, as Philip Willis came down pit road. And there it is. Philip Willis comes down pit road. TJ Lair, he's going to stay it out for now, but man, he's lost so much time. As Turner and Keith both pit. So maybe TJ Lair, maybe he's just slowing it up because he's saving fuel, he's saving tires. Who knows? Definitely curious to see what's going to go on here, and anything can happen the way this works out. Who knows? But Josh Patterson and Henry Clapper, the first two to pit, they've cycled in second and third right now behind TJ Lair. Once Lair pits, that will be first and second. Chase Greer looks like he had a good stop. Once this all cycles through, it'll be third. But the big mover here, Henry Clapper in that 34. What a call for him to get some track position here. I think he pit a couple laps too early, I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, if a caution comes out, he has a chance to go down. And, you know, I believe these guys have another set of tires left laying, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's got a chance to go down there, put some fresh tires on, and he'd be up here with the leaders. So what a strategy call by him, and what a strategy call by Josh Patterson, as Laird came down to pit road, and the 935 of Josh Patterson, he's going to take the lead here. He is definitely familiar with victory lane, not just in the Misfitz Racing League, but anywhere. In our parent league, the World Online Racing Championship, he's the all-time wins leader. He has 4 championships to his name in different disciplines, from running the NASCAR B cars, from 2 GT3 championships, a Dirt Street Stocks championship. Doesn't matter what you put him in, doesn't matter what track surface, doesn't matter anything. You put him behind the wheel of a sim rig, he's putting it up front. He's actually 1 for 1 this season in the Misfitz Racing League. He won at Phoenix, which was the regular season finale. So he was in the booth last week at Martinsville, got the edge to come out here, put some laps in. He's leading here at Chicagoland with just over 30 laps to go in this one. As Henry Clapper looks like he's going to get passed by Michael Edwards, who's making a very hard charge. Michael Edwards may have actually had a great strategy running the long pit there, as he stated out, and there's a chance that he gets through. Gets back to the front. Who knows? He looks really fast right now. I'm trying to look through the field at any battles. Looks like Greer's going to get past Clapper too. So Clapper, he's probably hoping on a caution right now. The way that strategy worked out, he's going to get passed by Stevens here too. So we'll see how things shape up for Clapper here, as him and Stevens go really close. I think they may have just doored there down the front straightaway, as Clapper's running him really tight. And luckily it looks like Stevens will be able to get by. Just going through the field here, not really many close battles. Looks like we have Turner and Keith. That's kind of the only one I'm really seeing here on the track. I believe Willis and Mingo were close, but we're going to watch this one for now, as Keith is going to get by Turner on the outside. And Keith, he pit, I believe he pit at the same time as Turner, if I'm not mistaken. So Keith, he's just pulling away right now. Not sure what happened with Turner. Maybe Turner didn't take tires, trying to get some position on track. Not sure. As back here, Philip Willis and Sharon Slate are current battle that we have here. And it looks like Willis is going to get by Slate, as Slate just has not had the race that she's needed. Trying to make that final 6. Matt Mingo, he's going to get up there as well. Looks like Jesse Singleton's losing some spots as well. Just the different pit strategies really come into effect now with some of these guys back here. And unfortunately for Singleton, that suspension last week makes you wonder how much that's going to hang over his head in that 51 truck. And boy, I'd like to interview the 51 of Singleton. I've noticed he's got a truck with some. I'm not sure what the purpose of that truck is. I believe it's supposed to be supporting the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So it'd be really cool to interview him and ask him all about that and what it entails and why he's running it. So I'm hoping on him to get a top 3. I'd like to ask about that truck. If it's what I'm thinking, it might be. Supporting the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's really cool on his part. Back up front, Josh Patterson leads, but that gap is closing very quickly. Michael Edwards has closed it to 2 seconds here on lap 94. And yeah, there's just not really anybody too close through the field, and actually, nobody's that close. Never mind. Henry Clappert, Patrick Jenks side by side here. Well, Clappert's strategy looked really good, and I gave him a lot of props for it, but unfortunately, I think the fall off over those 5 laps is just too much. I think if he may have come down 78, 79, things would have looked really good for him. But now, I think things are looking really good for one man, and it's not the guy that's leading, it's the guy who's chasing the leader, Michael Edwards. He's closed that down to a second. And I'm not sure if Patterson's been saving tires or saving fuel or what, or if Edwards is just this fast. But that 14 is closing the gap here very, very quickly to Josh Patterson. This has been a really good race. We've not had one caution for contact yet. Man, we'll see if Patterson can maybe play some defense or what the deal is here, but he's definitely been reeled in by Michael Edwards. And I'm not sure if they have another pit stop on the line or not. Perhaps maybe it was a 2-stop strategy. I mean, we did see some guys make it 30 laps in stage 2. But if you consider when these guys pit, it was about 25 laps. I mean, the stage caution was on 55, so they ran some laps in their caution, give or take. They went green about lap 60. Clappert pit on 75. Patterson pit on 81. So I'm thinking this is a 2-stopper. And so Edwards right now, the way things are going, I mean, he's in a great position. But if he drew out that first stop too long in the event that this is a 2-stopper, obviously we don't know yet till we see guys coming down for that second stop. But if this is how it goes, I mean, if he drew that first stop out too long, he may not give himself enough time to reel the field back in. But for now, he's absolutely blazing fast. He's cleared Patterson, and he's gone. And Patterson, yep, it's, as I said, it was a 2-stopper. Boy, I start talking about it, and there it is right there. The evidence that this is a 2-stopper. Patterson comes down lap 99. He thinks he's got enough for the next 20 laps or so. Looks like it'll be 21 laps by the time he gets cycled through. Patrick Jenks came down to pit road as well. And now Henry Clappert, we saw him pit so early on 75, you would have thought he would have let us down for that second stop. He did not. So I'm curious to see when this 34 pits. I'm curious to see when the whole field pits, but this is the most provoking strategy to me. And it looks like he's slowing down. He's going to come down pit road. So Patterson starts the trend once again, it seems, as I'd like to say Clappert in that 34 started the trend on 75, but just waiting a few laps later, Patterson came down, and slowly the field started coming down after. We've seen Jenks follow, and we've seen Clappert follow. And I know those are two guys who know how good of a driver Josh Patterson is, so there's a chance that Patterson may just have a cult following, and that's why they followed, as we see Clappert take that fast repair. But Michael Edwards has come down to pit road. So interesting for Edwards, he stayed out very long on that first strategy. He'll come down just 2 laps after Josh Patterson pulls down pit road. So curious to see how things shape out there, as I believe, yeah, Chase Guerrero is your leader right now on that 40. And And we'll see here if and Zachary Stevens, David Bachman. We'll see if the playoff field can shake themselves up here with pit strategy. Is I'm pretty sure this is the last stop. Philip Lewis has come down pit road. If you're Patrick Jenks, I think you see how it worked for track position for Clappert pitting so early, and I think you see how it worked for Patterson even getting to the lead. So I'm curious to see if Jenks made the right call following Patterson in. He pit the same exact lap. That 38. Last week at Martinsville, came in clutch out of nowhere, finished P3. I mean, he might be that guy in the playoffs, you know. Kind of always teetering on the brink of elimination, but managing to pull through somehow, some way. As Greer, he's going to head down pit road here in that 40. Zachary Stevens is going to follow, and Stevens looks like he's a little hot coming down pit road, but he looked like he had a way better pit entry there. So Zachary Stevens, he's a guy I mentioned being really fast. Curious to see how his stop goes. Trevor Keith in the 48. He's going to be the leader for now. Josh Patterson, I want to keep an eye on him since he was the first one to come down pit road. He's up to 6th. He is about a second and a half to Michael Edwards, and we'll see if 2 laps is all a second and a half needed. We'll see if Patterson's saving tires, because it seems like Michael Edwards is gaining rapidly on Patterson. He just closed 2/10 that last lap, and looks like Bachman has come down pit road, or excuse me, is exiting pit road. So he'll exit behind Stevens. So Keith and Mingo, the only two who have stayed out so far in this one, as Henry Clappert, Patrick Jenks, those guys are still lapped down. Those were the next 2 guys to come down pit road, as we see Matt Mingo there. And Trevor Keith looks like he's slowing up here. No, he's going to keep it out there. So if you're Trevor Keith or Matt Mingo, you're hoping that these next 15 laps, the fresh tires matter. And we did see how much they mattered just alone in the difference between Clappert and Patterson, the 5-lap difference, and then between Patterson and Edwards, I believe that was another 5-lap difference or so. So Patterson pit on 99, Edwards pit on 101. Maybe Keith and Mingo hoping that staying out an extra 5 laps, that's the key. That's the variable. As there it is, 5 laps after Keith comes down pit road. We'll see if Mingo follows. Here through 3 and 4, it doesn't look like he is. He actually is washing up off of 4. So Mingo's going to take the lead here. Michael Edwards ran down Josh Patterson and got by him. So I'm not sure. Maybe Patterson's damage is affecting him or something. But it doesn't look like anybody has anything for Michael Edwards. As he will get the lead here eventually once Mingo pits. As Mingo looks really slow there down the back straightaway. He'll go through 3 and 4, and I think it's almost dangerous to try to pit this late in the race. I mean, unless he's got enough to stay out there. I don't remember when Mingo came down to pit road on the first stop there somewhere in the 80s. So, I mean, maybe he's been saving fuel. I don't know, but he's got a 10-second gap right now to Edwards and Patterson. I just can't imagine he doesn't pit here. I think he's just maybe waiting too long, my opinion at least. We've had not one caution due to incident, as Mingo does decide to finally duck down pit road. We've had not one caution due to incident in this race. That's right. 13 laps to go. Ooh, Mingo. A little wheel hop there entering pit road. Yeah, we've only had the 2 stage cautions. 24 lead changes, though, so it's not like we've been short of action for the lead. As Patterson's still kind of close to Edwards, but just, I don't think there's anything there. I don't think there's anything really for second either. There's Chase Greer in third. I think Greer might be able to get ran down by Zachary Stevens, just seeing the pace that Stevens has had. But the interval is 4 seconds. Stevens back there on the backstretch, so who knows if Stevens will have enough. But Patrick Jenks, I mentioned that pit strategy. He's currently running 5th. And he's got David Bachman right there. But if Jenks can hold on for the next 10 laps, I I mean, maybe he can hold off Bachman. We'll see what kind of defense he plays here. As 11 laps to go. Looks like Jenks is not going to put up that much of a fight. Looks like he's just going to try to make his laps here. And Clapper, we saw him pit early as well, but it looks like he's falling back as well. He's back to 8th. So Philip Willis up to 7th. It's about a second and a half back on Jenks. We'll see what Jenks can do. We'll see if he can hang on here. Like I said, always on the brink of elimination. Somehow, some way, might find his way to the next round. Absolutely incredible to be a guy in a position like this and just somehow finding a way around it late in the runs, man. Did it at Martinsville, might do it here. As we see Josh Patterson and TJ Lair, they're close together. And unfortunately for Lair, the last half of this race has just blown away for him. Not a good run for him. We'll see how the stage points shake up for him in terms of seeing if he makes the next round. But for now, I mean, him and Singleton, they were the two guys out. And Singleton, he's running 12th. So I don't quite recall the stage points that Singleton got, but I think TJ Lair, Singleton, man, it's going to be close. I can't tell you which one is ahead, but I can tell you it's going to be really close between them for that final playoff spot. And I'm not usually one who likes to write people off early, but with 8 laps to go here, I think it's safe to write off the 18 of Sharon Slate and the 26 of Kelly Hyatt, as I just don't think they've done enough to get the points they need. Hyatt was 7 back on Singleton and Lair entering this race, and Slate was another 5 back to Hyatt, and just neither of them have really gotten the stage points. Ran up front. I mean, Singleton got the pole. Lair won stage 2, so yeah, I don't know. It's all in the name of the game. And late in this game, seems like Michael Edwards is safe to win this thing. Seems like the top 3 are almost set pending a caution. Zachary Stevens, he's losing some ground to Greer, so man, there's just a lot of separation here through the field. But we do have a little bit of a battle brewing between 2 playoff drivers, and that's Philip Willis and Patrick Jenks battling here for 6th. And Willis, he had himself an interesting day, as we saw very early on. Had a little scuffle, ended up falling to the back, got towards the front at the end of stage 1, led some laps in stage 2, and now he's battling Patrick Jenks to finish 6th. So an up and down day for the 4, quite literally, but he's looked strong, and he came into this one in the final 6, and it looks like he will stay in the final 6, as he's done a great job today in that 4 truck. So congrats to Philip Willis. I mean, I don't want to say congrats yet. I mean, I don't know exactly how the points are shaking out yet or what will happen, but yeah, Patterson just losing tons of time to Edwards. So it's going to be all Michael Edwards race, it looks like. And what a good one here, you know, last week at Martinsville, and this is not a knock on the league or anything at all, but there was definitely some cautions, definitely some incidents that could have been brought back, and the league did go through and deal with some of those incidents. They went back and looked at some of the drivers who were causing those incidents. If you remember Dominic Lean, the 98, Josh Patterson, who's on track now but was in the booth last week, who referred to him as a bulldozer, and the other 2 co-commentators, Henry Clapper, Paul Granada, they agreed. But yeah, that's that. I mean, Michael Edwards was apparently Dominic Lee's teammate in that event. I'm sure he's I mean, if I'm your teammate, I'm not gonna be mean to you, but man, I notice when you're not bulldozing people, the race goes green flag. I've said that to Paul Granada before, so it's okay. I understand what it's like to tell your friends that they may have been the problem. Good job by the league owners, though. Overcoming a rough race, putting together a very clean one here tonight with just 3 laps to go. And although the racing kind of single-filed out, spread out a lot here at the end of this thing, there wasn't a stage caution to close them up again. When the racing was close, the racing was good. The racing was clean. I mean, you didn't see any accidental spins or anything of that sort. As Trevor Keith hell of a run he's had here late in this one. He's up to 6th. I don't think he'll catch Bachman for 5th, but Jenks 8th, Willis 7th, Clappert 9th. Looks like Kelly Hyatt in 10th. That might be how things shake up. Grant Turner, he was the points leader in this thing. He did not have that good of a day, but I think he's all right. As Michael Edwards is taking the white flag. One more lap around here, and while we're watching this last lap, I want to remind you guys of Speedmaster. If you guys are interested in any remote control award-winning world record holding boats, contact them today at speedmaster@gmail.com. We featured them a lot last week. Didn't really have enough TV time to feature them this week. And this one will go green flag without incident. Aside from stage cautions, Michael Edwards is going to bring home the win here from Chicagoland. As Josh Patterson will bring it home 2nd. Chase Greer will bring it home P3. And your highest finishing playoff driver, Trevor Keith in 6th. That's right, folks. The top 5 all non-playoff guys. Congrats to David Bachman. He absolutely turned his race around in that 84. Rounding out the top 5, Zachary Stevens. He looked fast all day. Finished 4th. As we mentioned, Greer 3rd. Patterson 2nd. And it looks like Stevens and Greer, they're going to door a little bit. I'm not sure if Stevens is unhappy with Greer, but just drives up to him, doors him under caution. I'm not sure if that was some friendly banter or what. But yeah, Michael Edwards, that's the man that we're looking at as he took the win here. He's going to go through the grass, give us a nice little burnout here. Maybe, oh, nope, he's going to knock down the wall. That's okay. They don't need that here. They don't race here anymore. In real life, at least, unfortunately. This is a great facility. Come on, Michael, give us a burnout. I want you to put that thing into a smoke show. There we go. There it is. Michael Edwards giving us a burnout. Really fast at Martinsville last week. Some late race incidents kind of cost him a chance from competing for that win. Comes out here at Chicagoland. Puts on a clinic here late in this one and brings home the win. Well, while Michael Edwards is doing a burnout here, I believe we're going to go into a commercial break real quick, so don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back here live on WORC TV with post-race interviews with your top 3.
The field is rolling on the back straightaway.
Get ready, this is going to be tight. Out of turn 4, ladies and gentlemen. The All-American 400 is underway.
Got to be careful. The bumps here can get you every time. Entering the corner, exiting the corner.
Welcome everybody back to WORC TV here post-race. I'd like to shout out our sponsor again of the Misfitz Racing League, Speedmaster RC Boats, world record holders, award winners. Go check them out today if you want a remote control model boat, speedmaster@gmail.com. And thank you for joining us here for the Misfitz Racing League. As tonight's race, definitely a good one here, no cautions at all. Except for the, well, I guess you can't say no cautions at all. There was stage cautions, but the stage cautions played out, and yeah. It sounds like we're not going to get an interview with P3 again. It seems to be a trend here in this league that we don't get an interview with somebody. But we will get an interview today with Michael Edwards, your race winner. Michael, you're in the WORC TV booth. You have coffee, buddy.
How's it going?
Good, Michael, good. And seems like it's going good for you as well, as you started 5th, come home 1st, leading 44 laps here today. Coming down to that final stage, the pit strategy there, What was it? What was it like? I mean, you had to stay it out a little bit in the long run, and then you came down on that second stop and kind of short pitted a little bit, just a couple laps after Josh Patterson. What was the difference there in your different pit strategies there in that final stage?
Just trying to make it even. Just kind of worried that we'd get a late race caution because I had no tires there in the end, and I used them up sitting there racing Josh. I was really worried about the caution, but ran it dry. Saw the difference it made, so figured out to even it out and short pitted. It worked out really well. Josh had like a 4-second lead there in that second to last pit stop. I was worried. Kind of took me a while to track him down, but he said he tapped the wall. I think that would have made a huge difference in where he finished and where I finished.
Yeah, well, absolutely, Michael. As you mentioned, Josh there, he was kind of the only guy who really even made an attempt to pass you for the lead there. But you mentioned burning off the tires and tire wear and all of that. Josh had told us in an in-car interview that the track seemed to be full throttle, that there may have been like a power penalty of some sort. So how did being almost full throttle play into the tire wear there throughout the race?
Honestly, it's not really full throttle. You can do it. You can do it the whole run, but your tires will be destroyed. Earlier on the race, when you said I had that incident in turn 2, I actually just started saving right then and just dropped back. And 10 laps later, I caught them all. So just a slight, 1 to 2 second let off into the corner and arc, and it's just the best way to save tires. Just Chicagoland is just known for being full throttle on these trucks, but fixed, officials and everything. But that slight 1 to 2 second let off will completely change it in a 15 lap run.
All right, man. And just one more question for you. You're not a playoff driver. So heading into next week, hopefully you plan a race next week. You just won Chicagoland. You think you're going to go for 2 in a row at Las Vegas?
I'm hoping so. I'm really good at Las Vegas. Dominic Lee was, invited me, but had all those issues last week, so I'm kind of just here to win now. I was 2 for 2, winning the first 2 races I started here. Messed up the third one. Martinsville, I feel like I should have won that one, and going for this one. Great group of guys. The strategy is very, very unique, I guess you can say, with having to try and save with the stages coming out at the perfect moment. So it was quite interesting. I'm also mad that my only mess up of the race was when I was doing my burnout and hit the wall there. Very upset with myself.
Yeah, I was a little upset with you too. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, man. Well, as you mentioned, you've only made a handful of starts and you've won most of them. And absolutely, you were definitely quick at Martinsville. You're bad fast, man. And before I let you go, do you have anybody that you'd like to thank for tonight's efforts?
Yep, you for doing the broadcast. Fort Worth Screen Printing. John Garrett's the guy who owns that, and he's making his full season, full-time ARCA start this year. So that's pretty cool for him. DG Swiss for doing all my paints, and all the guys who put on this league. Bunch of great guys, and for it to go kind of caution free there at the end was great and really, really fun to do. Absolutely,
man. Well, a good job here tonight from you in that 14 machine. And I hope your sponsors are happy, because I'm sure you're pretty happy right now to bring home the win. Congratulations, Michael, on another win here this season. Unfortunately, I wasn't here for the first couple that you mentioned, but hopefully you turn it around and bring it back home in victory lane next week as well.
Yep, we got one more. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Michael. That was Michael Edwards, your race winner. And yeah, we're gonna bring in second place Josh Patterson now, and have an interview with him. Josh, you're in the WORC TV booth. Do you have a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Josh, yeah, it seems to me that the strategy just didn't play in your favor, unfortunately. But you definitely made a good effort there in that 935. And so I want you to tell me about the decision to kind of be the trendsetter there on pit stops, kind of short pitting both times. Obviously, Clapper pit before you on that first stop there on the third stage, but you were kind of the one where really people started to look at it and go, okay, I need to come down pit road now. So let me know, I mean, like, what went through your head trying to be the trendsetter there?
Well, I was actually on the right strategy, believe it or not, but I had I think it was a 4.5 second gap to Michael Edwards, and I was holding them to like maybe a 2/10 a lap gain, which was gonna be not enough to catch me by the end of the race. But then I slapped the wall real hard, and I lost, I think, 3/10 a lap. And it was just like I couldn't get anything after that. So, it was pretty easy for him to just come up and catch me. And then, even on the second pit stop, I was just so much slower off with that damage. So, had it not been for that, I think I would have been able to come home with the winner of this race. But no, Michael had a really good race. He was really fast tonight, and he's definitely a deserving winner.
Yeah, he mentioned to me that he's won like 3 out of 4 starts, something like that, something crazy. So, really good there. So for you, you started 15th, had to come all the way through the field, ended up finishing second. What was it like to have to come through the field early? And do you think that having to come through the field may have had any implications on where your pace may have been for the rest of the race?
Man, I feel like I had to do that 3 times. I started in the back, then I didn't realize the stage was at 25, so I had like 3 laps of fuel left, and just trying to make it, to the end of that, and then I saw pit roads close, and I'm like, uh-oh. So yeah, I spun trying to do that, which sent me to the back again because I got an EOL. And then I went down to try to fix some damage on the next stage, so I started in the back there again. So I feel like I just kept having to go from the back to the front. I think I don't know. I feel like since I was so fast at the end there, um, we still would have been able to finish second or be in the spot we were in if I had been up front for the majority of the thing. But I mean, I think it was good to kind of test out what everyone else is doing, see what everyone else is running. It honestly took me a good 20 laps to figure out that it was full throttle. And on those last 2 runs, I don't think I ever lifted off the gas. So, I just, you learn those kind of things. I don't know if I would have been able to learn that just from being up front the whole time. So, I always like going through the field. That's why they call me Bullet Bill.
Yeah, I think they call you Bullet Bill because usually you're wrecking people through the field. Just kidding.
Not sure if I agree with that.
But no, you definitely didn't do that. You don't do that. You're a good driver. I can vouch. Interviewed you a couple times on WORC TV. Anyways, so Josh Patterson, everyone. Before we let you go, Josh, do you have anybody that you'd like to thank tonight? I see that Dynamo Designs sponsorship there. That Dynamo Designs painted truck. I, as a Dynamo Designs driver and partial employee, am obligated to inform you guys. Dynamo Designs schemes start at just $5. Josh hates having commissions, so go load him up with a bunch of commissions because that thing looks pretty cool. So imagine what you'd look like, how cool your truck would look like. Go ahead, Josh. Go do your sponsors.
I got to thank half of the Dynamo Designs camp. I got to thank Limeade Media, Vulture Racing Engines, Patriot Clutches, Belfort Property Restoration.
Hold on. I need you to go back a couple steps. Half. 1 of 2.
1 of 2.
Why aren't you thanking yourself?
Because, I mean, I wrecked the car tonight, Can't thank myself for screwing it up.
Did get right front damage. Okay, go ahead. Go finish.
Gotta thank you for broadcasting and putting this heck of a race on the on YouTube and wherever else you're streaming it. And gotta thank Patrick for running the league and everyone else for coming out tonight and somehow making it through an entire race without a single yellow incident. I think I only saw like 1 or 2 cars hit the wall the entire race, other than myself. And so definitely a battle of attrition of just getting through the whole thing. But definitely cool to see everyone make it to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a good run, and especially for you finishing second here tonight. So congratulations on that. And it was definitely more fun having you in the booth, but it was cool to see you on track. And you finished first and second so far in your 2 starts this season. You have a 1.5 average finish, so that's not anything to be ashamed of. So yeah, Josh, we'll see you around, and thanks for hopping in the booth here, doing an interesting interview, and congratulations on getting second.
All right, thanks a lot, Bryson.
All right, so that was Josh Patterson, the race winner here tonight. And now, before we're going to try to figure out the top 6 in the playoffs here. The admins are doing that. So we're going to go into another commercial break real quick and see if we can stall enough to give them some time to tell us who that top 6 is. So we'll be right back after this commercial break. My apologies, folks, for a bit of a delay here on the return back to action here. The commercial ended. Sorry about that. But, yeah, we're going to bring in league owner Patrick Jenks to go ahead and announce the top 6 playoff drivers. So we're going to see if we can get him in the waiting room and bring him on in here and he can make the announcement. Or maybe he's here already. It looks like we have him here. Patrick Jenks, do you have a copy? All right, Patrick. Go ahead and reel off the top 6 in points for us here.
Your playoff contenders from 10th place up, we'll do that, and then we'll do our top 6.
Go ahead.
Anthony Emmerich will finish 10th place with 31.03. Sharon Slate will finish 9th place with 31.10. Kelly Hyatt, 31.34 in 8th place. Matt Mango at a 31.40 in 7th place. In 6th place, drum roll please, will be TJ Lear with 31.41. In 5th place, coming from behind, Jesse Singleton with 31.41. He'll come in 5th place. 4th place will be Philip Willis at a 31.42. Top 3, here we go. Trevor Keith, 31.46. 2nd place will be Grant Turner at 31.50. And rounding it off will be Patrick Jenks at 31.51 in 1st place.
Wow, what a comeback for you there. Putting yourself all the way up into 1st place there. You did have a good run, and you had a great strategy there at the end, so congratulations there. Yeah, well, thank you, Patrick, for hopping in and telling us the playoff drivers there, and congratulations on getting there. I'm going to let you go now so we can conclude the broadcast and go from there. So yeah, everybody, thank you for joining us here tonight on WORC TV for the Misfitz Racing League presented by Speedmaster. Speedmaster, they hold world record and award-winning remote control model boats. If you're interested in any of that, go ahead and contact them today at speedmaster@gmail.com. And as for the Misfitz Racing League, I've had that logo brought up on the screen. Thank you guys for tuning in. We weren't supposed to broadcast this race, but we made a deal. We're going to broadcast tonight. And there's a chance it's on WORC TV next week. Unfortunately, I will not be included in that. So if it is on WORC TV, hopefully you guys are getting a good finale from whoever we can put together. But up until then, this is it. Checking out. WORC TV is going to be signing off here on our coverage of today's Misfitz Racing League. And I'm sorry personally, it's definitely a change to broadcast solo. And coming from having a booth of 4 guys and then broadcasting solo, I really just appreciate